Hello everybody and welcome to Victoria's Action Figure Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars 2013 Jango Fett's Slave 1. Here's a look at the packaging. So I like the packaging. It's a very nice box. It's pretty catchy. I like the colors and it is reminiscent of the Revenge of the Sith line. This very same Slave 1 was also released in early 2013 in the green and white Yoda themed packaging, which also looked really nice. So the Slave 1 comes unassembled in the box. It is quite simple to assemble, but there is a little bit of work to be done. And there are a few decals that needed to be applied into the cockpit. This is what the vehicle looks like when you pull it out of the box. And of course it comes with this instruction sheet here that basically tells you what parts go where. So, the top part just snaps in, you attach the wings, and then the turrets, you stick a little missile in there, and then you apply 3 decals. So, pretty simple. So a lot of what I've read online seems to indicate that most collectors aren't quite on board with these smaller versions of previously released vehicles. Personally, I like them, and it's actually mostly for that reason. But that also means that they're far more manageable than their predecessors. For example, you can set up a shelf display with several of these smaller vehicles rather than just a couple. Plus, space is certainly an issue. I don't have a whole lot of room myself for storing my collectibles, so for that reason I also appreciate these smaller vehicles. So sure, the battle damage and overall detail may not be quite as extensive as what we've seen with the larger vehicles, but for what they are, I like them. The last Slave 1 I bought was the 2002 Attack of the Clones version, which was at the time a brand new sculpt and was later released as a Boba Fett Slave 1 in the original trilogy collection. To this day, I think that version still holds up very well. I know Hasbro went back and redid the Slave 1, first for a Clone Wars version and then for a re-release last year. And that's great, but it's just so big. And there's no way for me to conveniently fit vehicles of that scale in my house. So, for that reason, once again, I really do like these smaller vehicles because you're getting the same vehicle and you're also getting the ease of storing and displaying them in your collection. So once again, I really like these. So Jango Fett Slave 1 is a pretty basic vehicle. As you can see, there's not a whole lot to it in the way of detailing. The sculpt work is nice. They capture the overall look, and it's in scale with itself. It is a little bit bland. There's not a whole lot of detail on it. There's no stickers for the backside, all the thrusters and little sculpt work and details. They're all there, but they're just not painted the same way or as detailed as other releases. So the wings spin like this. If you move one, the other one moves in synchronization with it. The same goes for the turrets down here on the bottom. They can be spun independently. And of course, you also get a launching missile because what fun would a Star Wars vehicle be without a launching missile? So you turn the vehicle around, you will see the button right there. And to activate it, what you're going to do is you're going to hold down on the button and pull down. And away goes your missile. Cool, huh? You want to do it again? Let's see it again. I find it pretty cool that the missile in this vehicle actually goes pretty far. If I shoot it, it probably goes a good 7 or 8 feet, which, for a little vehicle like this is, fairly impressive, I would say. So the cockpit, as you can see, is solid black. And once you have a figure in there, you can't see them. It is still clear, but it is, dark tinted black. Now, the thing about this little opening hatch there is that it's really hard to open. Basically what you do is you just take your 2 fingers and you pull up in there, just like that, and push up. And I'll show you in just a moment, but it is terribly difficult to open. I had to resort to a butter knife The inside of the cockpit, as you can see, is very, very snug. There's not a whole lot of room in it, certainly not enough room to fit multiple figures. You're basically only going to put Jango Fett in there to pilot the ship, and that's it. There's not a whole lot of detail in there either. You can see that one of the stickers that I did a terrible job of placing, and then your other sticker is going to be right there. And that's basically it. The last sticker is going to be right here at the very bottom of the vehicle. Alright, so you're probably wondering which Jango Fett figure you should use to pilot this Slave One. Well, you can use the Mission Series one from 2013, or you can use the vintage release from a few years back. I'm sure other Jango figures fit in here as well, but these are the two that I had time to try. Alright, so to get your Jango Fett figure in there, simply grab your figure, bend his legs at an angle, and just kind of get him in there. As best you can. Again, there's not a whole lot of room here, but, if you get it in right, he goes in there okay. And again, yes, it's a very snug fit. I wouldn't want to be cramped inside this sort of a vehicle traveling through hyperspace. And in the same fashion, you pull out your Jango figure. I do want to mention that removing the jetpack is probably the wise thing to do, even though it looks like there's a little bit of space for you to maybe put it in there. It's just way easier to not have it on Jango when he goes in. Then here's our vintage Jango, and we can take off our helmet just because. And we will just kind of push him in there until he gets in, and there he is. So as you can see, both vintage Jango and Mission Series Jango fit in there just right. And of course, the Slave One is great for chasing after Obi-Wan Kenobi or ironing a shirt. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this episode. This is the Hasbro Star Wars 2013 Jango Fett's Slave One. Once again, it's a smaller version of Jango's ship, but I really like it. I like it for that reason. Plus, it also gives me the opportunity to own a Slave One, but also not be a slave to display or storage space. Thanks for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.